Guess how much I got this seat for? Only $5. Yes, $5 because of our $5 baseball nights. And our $5 baseball starts Sunday, July 29th and goes till Thursday, August 2nd. And then we will have our final $5 baseball night on Tuesday, August 7th. So make sure to go pick up your $5 baseball vouchers at Goodwill and Quick Trip in the Wichita area.
Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome here to the historic Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River. Powered by Westar Energy. This game will feature the visiting team, the Texas Prospects, versus the Hutchinson, Kansas Monarchs. Both teams are in the B pool, and they come in with a 1-1 record. Here's the starting lineups for today's game. First of all, for the Prospects, leading off and playing second base will be number 7, Walker Paz. Batting second, the center fielder number 22, Avery Williams. Batting third, the left fielder number 13, Ben McLean. Batting fourth, the third baseman number 3, Brandon Holdren. Batting fifth, the designated hitter number 25, Josh Gustafson. Batting sixth and playing right field number 20, Taiwan Mackey Jr. Batting seventh and playing first base number 12, Ty Cook. Batting eighth and catching number 29, Chris Del Bosque. Batting ninth and playing shortstop will be number 21, Hayden McGriff. And pitching for the Prospects will be number 16, Austin Seidel. Now here's the starting lineup for the home team, the Hutchinson, Kansas Monarchs. Leading off and playing left field will be number 8, Eric Bonherd. Batting second, the center fielder, number 12, Nolan Hackle. Batting third and playing shortstop, number 7, Dylan Nedved. Batting fourth and playing second base will be number 18, Tyler Barber. Batting fifth and playing first base, number 27, Jack Rogers. Batting sixth and catching will be number 20, Skylar Black. Batting seventh and DHing will be number 19, Riley Metzger. Batting eighth and playing third base will be number 6, Jordan Martinez. Batting ninth and playing right field will be number 1, Connor Craig. And pitching for Hutchinson will be number 11, Dominic Robinson. All right, we're ready to get started. This is Frank Martinez, and I will be your play-by-play announcer for tonight. Leading off for Texas Prospects will be the second baseman, number 7, Walker Paz. 10:20 here in the evening. Here in Wichita, Kansas, along the banks of the Arkansas River. First pitch is a ball, missing outside. 1-0 the count now to Walker Paz. Walker is a 5'9", 165-pound freshman from Norwalk College. His hometown is Rapid City, South Dakota. Count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to Walker Paz. Dominic Robinson, a left-handed pitcher. He is a 6'1", 200-pounder from Sam Houston State, sophomore from Timball, Texas. And it is fouled off, so the count goes full now at 3-2 to Walker Paz. Walker comes in batting .286. He's been up to bat 7 times and has 2 hits, 3 runs, and 1 RBI. And here's the pitch. It is also fouled off to the left-hand side. And some fans scatter as it goes near him. Except for the kids. They always go after the ball. So the count stays at 3-2. Beautiful evening here in Wichita, Kansas. It is 76 degrees. There's the pitch high, so Paz will be on with a walk. And Robertson gives up the first base to the first hitter here for the Texas Prospects. Now batting will be the center fielder, number 22, Avery Williams. Avery Williams is a 6'3", 205-pound junior from PVAM University.
Center fielder number 22, Avery Williams.
Hometown is Mexia, Texas. Avery comes in batting .333 here into this ball game. Been up to bat 9 times, has 3 hits, scored 3 runs. And the count goes to 0-2 now to Williams as Williams fouled the first one off. Swinging strike 2 now. No balls, 2 strikes with a runner at first base here in the top half of the first inning as we're just now underway. There's fouled off. The Texas Prospects are wearing all gray with red socks, red numbers. And the Hutchinson Monarchs are with gray pants and blue shirts with a lighter blue lettering. And swinging strike 3 to Avery Williams. So it makes the first out of the inning. And Robertson records his first strikeout as a pitcher. That brings up the left fielder, number 13, Ben McLean. McLean is a 5'11", 200-pounder freshman from Howard Community College. And he comes from Maryland, Texas. 1-0 the count to McLean. And here's Robertson's pitch, misses high. So 2 balls, no strikes with a runner at first base. And 1 out. 2-1 now the count to Ben McLean. And here's Robertson's pitch, misses high and outside. 3-1 now the count. McLean comes in batting at .429. He's been up to bat 7 times, has 3 hits, 1 run scored, 1 double and 1 triple with 6 RBIs. Going into this ball game, full count now, 3-2. And a swing and a miss, and Robertson records his second strikeout of the ball game and second strikeout of the inning. Brings up the third baseman, number 3, Brandon Hodron. Brandon comes from Baytown, Texas. He's a 6 foot, 180-pounder freshman from Ranger College. Left-handed batter. Call strike 1. Our umpires for today's games is home plate is Travis Olson, first base Mark Wagers, and at third base Doug McClure. And there goes the runner. Pause to second base, and he's going to be in safely as he's got a stolen base. Here in the top half of the first inning. And the count goes to 1 ball and 1 strike. Now have a runner at second base as Paz stole that base. And we have 2 down here in the top half of the first inning. And there's Robinson's pitch, hits the outside corner. 1-2 the count now. Ball gets away from Robertson. As the catcher, Black, threw that back to him. Defensively for Hutchinson at first base is Rogers, second baseman Barber, shortstop Nedved, third base Martinez, left fielder Bonhurt, center fielder Hackle, and right fielder Craig. Once again, Black back behind the plate, and Dominic Robinson, the pitcher for the Hutchinson Monarchs. 2-2 now the count. 2 outs with a runner at second base. And here's Robinson's pitch, and it's fouled off by Holdren. Holdren comes in batting .375. He's been up to bat 8 times, has 3 hits, 1 run, and 1 RBI here in the World Series. Robinson misses outside. So the count goes full now, 3-2. To Brandon Holdren. And there's a swing and a miss, and Robinson strikes out the side after giving up a base on balls. So Texas scores no runs, and we'll be right back.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by West Star Energy. Texas prospects were up to bat first and left the man stranded at second base. So now coming up to bat for the first time is the Hutchinson, Kansas Monarchs. And leading off for the Monarchs will be the left fielder, number 8, Eric Bonhurt. Bonhurt is from Cypress, Texas. The first pitch is fouled off. Pitching is number 16, Austin Seidel. Austin's from New Braunfels, Texas. He's a 6'4", 225-pound sophomore from Cloud County. Second pitch is misses for ball 1. Count goes to 1-1 now. 2 balls, 1 strike. Eric Bonhurt is from Cypress, Texas. He's a 5'10", 185-pounder, a freshman from Sam Houston State. And Seidel misses high, so count, I believe, is 3-1. Correction, 2-2 is the count. Two balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom half of the first inning for Hutchinson. And Seidel wants to talk to a catcher. Chris Del Bosque. Defensively for Texas, at first base is Cook, number 12 Cook. Second baseman, number 7 Paz. Shortstop, number 21 McGriff. At third base, number 3 Holdren. Left fielder number 13, McLean. Center fielder number 22, Williams. And right fielder number 20, Mackey. Catching is Del Bosque. And once again, pitching is number 16, Austin Seidel. 3 balls and 2 strikes now is the count to the left fielder, number 8, Eric Bonhart. And here's Seidel's pitch. It's fouled off by Bonhart. So we stay full. And here's a Seidel's pitch and a swing and a miss by Eric Bonhart. So Seidel records his first strikeout of the ball game. That's going to bring up the center fielder, number 12, Nolan Hackle. Hackle is a left-handed batter. He's from Lincoln, Nebraska, a 6 foot, 185-pound junior from University of Nebraska. Hackle comes into the ball game batting .375 and calls strike one by home plate umpire Travis Olson. So 0-1 the count now to Hackle. 0-2 now. Pitch was 87 miles per hour. And Seidel's pitch just misses outside, so the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom half of the first inning. Hackle's batting .375. He's been up to bat 8 times, has 3 hits, has scored 3 runs, and has 1 RBI. So the count goes 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Nolan Hackle. And call strike 3. Seidel records his second strikeout. That's going to bring up the shortstop number 7, Dylan Nedved. Nedved is from Lenexa, Kansas. He's a 6'2", 190-pounder, a freshman from Hutchinson Community College. First pitch is a strike. 0-1 the count now, with 2 down here in the bottom half of the second inning. And Seidel's pitch, Nedved correction, goes to Holdren. Holdren goes to Cook at first base for out number 3. So no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. At the end of 1, we have no score. We'll be right back.
Hey, make it out every Friday of the NBC World Series this year. All college students will get free admission into the NBC World Series and will be offering $3 16-ounce Natty Light cans.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We're in the top half of the second inning with no score between the Texas Prospects and the Hutchinson Monarchs. Leading off the top half of the second inning for the Prospects will be the designated hitter, number 25, Gus Gustafson. Gustafson comes from Katy, Texas. He's a 6 foot, 210-pounder freshman from Coastal Bend. Call strike 1. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now. Ball hit down the third base line, just foul. Third base umpire Doug McClure, right on the line, calls that foul. So the count goes to 1-2 now to Gustafson. Gustafson comes in batting 143. Has been at bat 7 times, has 1 hit, scored 1 run, a double, and 1 RBI. That goes down, swinging for out number 3. Correction, number 1. Now batting the right fielder, number 20, Taiwan Mackey Jr. That is the 4th strikeout recorded by Robinson. Taiwan Mackey Jr. is from Pearland, Texas. It's a 6'2", 205-pounder, sophomore from Arkansas Pine Bluff. He's a left-handed batter. First pitch was a ball and strike 1. Now it's another ball, so we got 2-1 to count to Taiwan Mackey. Just missing outside is Robinson. 3 balls and 1 strike now to the left-handed batter. And Mackey calls timeout. Steps out. We're in the top half of the second inning here at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. There's a ball hit to the first baseman, Rogers. Makes a nice play. Goes unassisted at first base for out number 2. That's going to bring up the first baseman, number 12, Ty Cook. Ty Cook is from Houston, Texas. He's a 6', 175-pounder, sophomore from Our Lady of Lakeview. First pitch was a strike. And here's Robinson's pitch and a swing and a miss by Cook. 0-2 the count now. Top half the second inning with 2 outs. And there's a swing and a miss, and he strikes out Ty Cook for out number 3. Into 1.5, we have no score. We'll be right back.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you guys there. I was just checking out the NBC World Series' new app. You can find this app at the App Store. All you need to do is type in NBCWS to be caught up on all things NBC World Series.
NBC World Series, it all happens here.
We welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. As you're watching, the Hutchinson, Kansas Monarchs, the home team, versus the visiting team, the Texas Prospects. Once again, both teams came in with a 1-1 record heading into this game. We're in the bottom half of the second inning, no score. And leading off for the Monarchs will be the second baseman, number 18, Taylor Barber. Barber is a 6'2", 210-pounder sophomore from Northeast Texas Community College. And he fouls this one off along the right-hand side. Cook heading back to try to get to that, but it falls foul. So the count is 1-1 now to Taylor Barber. as we're in the bottom half of the second inning. And this is our last game of pool play. And unfortunately, neither one of these two teams will be moving on. They were in Pool B, and coming out of Pool B is the Colorado Cyclones, who lost today, but they end up with a 2-1 record, and they ended up beating both Hutchinson and the Texas Prospects. So one of these two teams is going to tie Colorado Cyclones, but are going to lose on a head-to-head match. Barber takes a walk. That's going to bring up the first baseman, number 27, Jack Rogers. And Rogers is from Spring, Texas. He's a 6'2", 195-pounder. Freshman from Sam Houston State. Left-handed batter. The horn sounded as the pitch was coming. I'm not exactly sure what the umpire, they might have been a no call. Nobody has marked anything yet, so apparently that's what it was. It's ball one now to Jack Rogers. We have a pitch clock, and if the horn goes off, if the pitcher is not throwing the ball, it's a ball for the batter. If the batter is not in the box within 5 seconds, then it is called a strike. But sometimes the movement of the pitcher, the delivery, and the horn may sound at the same time, and at that time the umpire will call it a no pitch. 2-0 the count goes to Jack Rogers, and that's exactly what happened on that first pitch. Rogers, Jack Rogers thought that first pitch was a ball, but he called no pitch, and that he's trying to explain that to Jack Rogers. So home plate umpire Travis Olson lets him know that the count is 3-0 instead of 4-0. That's exactly what happened in that first pitch. So we have a runner at first base. Taylor Barber reached on a base on balls, and 3-0 the count to Rogers. And call strike one, just on the outside corner by Seidel. 3-1 to count now to Rogers. And here's Seidel's pitch. Swing and a miss. Count evens, goes to 3 balls and 2 strikes. Jack Rogers is batting .556 in 2 games. He's been up to bat 9 times, has 5 hits, 3 runs scored, 1 triple, and 3 RBIs. There's the runner taken off, Barber going to second base, and it looks like they got him. And Rogers goes down swinging for out number 1. And then Del Boss throws out Barber at second base for out number 2. Now batting the catcher number 20, Skylar Black. First pitch is a ball to Skylar Black. Skylar's from Nacogdoches, Texas. He's a 6', 205-pounder junior from Stephen F. Austin. Count is 3-0 now to Skylar Black. Skylar is batting .143, been up to bat 7 times, has 1 hit, 2 runs scored with 2 RBIs. And there's a fly ball along the first base side. And it looks like it's going to fall in fair territory. Cook tried to get underneath that, and Paz came over, but the ball falls right between them. And so we have a base hit by Skylar Black. Wind is not blowing hard enough to affect that. That was just misplayed. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, number 19, Riley Metzger. So we have a runner at first base. And the official score has not marked that down yet as a hit or error. Meanwhile, the ball's hit to the shortstop. McGriff goes to Cook for out number 3. Well, we'll figure it out when we come back, but the end of 2 innings of play, we have no score. We'll be right back.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
Well, we'll welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. This is Frank Martinez, your play-by-play announcer. This game between the Hutchinson, Kansas Monarchs and the Texas Prospects. We finally had a ruling on that last play by Skylar Black. They're going to call it E3. So there was an error been put up on the board. So now we're in the top half of the 3rd inning. For Texas, leading off will be the catcher, number 29, Chris Del Bosque. And a penalty on Del Bosque for not getting into the batter's box with 5 seconds or less. So it's called strike 1. And here's Robertson's pitch, misses high for ball 1. Evens out the count at 1-1. 2-1 the count now to Del Bosque. Bosque comes from Dallas, Texas, is a 6'1", 200-pounder, sophomore from Eastfield. And there's a swing and a miss from Del Bosque. So evens up the count at 2-2 as we're up in the top half of the 3rd inning with no score between Texas Prospects and the Hutchinson Monarchs. It's fouled up back by Del Bosque. 2 balls, 2 strikes. No outs here in the top half of the 3rd inning. There's the pitch from Robertson, misses high. So the count goes full now at 3-2. And it's called strike 3, hitting the outside corner for out number 1. That is a 6th strikeout by Robertson. It's going to bring up the shortstop, number 21, Hayden McGriff. Call strike 1. McGriff comes from Houston, Texas. He's a 6'1", 180-pounder. A sophomore from North Lake. Call strike 2. 0-2 now the count to McGriff. Robinson working quickly. Misses just a tad high. So the count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Hayden McGriff, the shortstop for the Texas Prospects. McGriff, this is his first time in the NBC World Series batting. Count goes full now, 3-2. And there's a swing and a miss by McGriff. So Robinson records his 7th strikeout already in the 3rd inning. Out number 2. Brings up the second baseman, number 7, Walker Paz. 7th strikeout in the ball game in just 3 innings. Robinson's pitch hits the outside corner. 0-1 the count now to Walker Paz. Paz reached on a base on balls in the top half of the 1st inning. Had a stolen base and was left stranded as Dominic Robinson struck out the next 3 batters. There's a foul ball into the stands. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Walker Paz. So Paz was left stranded at second base as Robinson struck out the side in the, and there's another strike, call strike 3 for out number 3 as Robinson strikes out the side here in the 3rd inning. At the end of 2.5, we have no score, and we'll be right back.
The wait is over. The multi-platinum award-winning duo Sugarland back on tour for the first time in 5 years. Still the same 2018 tour. Saturday, August 18th at Entrust Bank Arena. The undeniable distinctive sound of Sugarland with special guest Frankie Ballard and Lindsay L. Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com. Get ready for Sugarland.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium as we're going to the bottom half of the 3rd inning between the Hutchinson Monarchs and the Texas Prospects. We have no score yet here in the ball game. Leading off bottom half of the 3rd inning for the Hutchinson Monarchs will be the 3rd baseman, number 6, Jordan Martinez. Martinez is from Syntex, Texas. He's a 6'1", 185-pounder, freshman from Northeast Texas Community College. First pitch is a strike, and there's a ball hit into right field in front of Mackey. And Martinez is going to be in with his first hit of the game and the first hit of the ball game. Going to bring up the right fielder, number 1, Dominic Robinson. Correction, my bad. Right fielder number 1 is Connor Craig. Craig is from Hutchinson, Kansas. He's a 5'10", 185-pounder, freshman from Hutchinson Community College. One ball, no strikes now to Craig. As Seidel gave up a base hit here to start off the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Martinez recording that base hit. And there's a swing and a miss. Count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now. to Connor Craig. Runner at first base with no outs. 74 degrees, almost 11 o'clock here in Wichita, Kansas. At Lawrence Dumont Stadium along the banks of the Arkansas River. Two and one now the count to Connor Craig. Here's Seidel's pitch, missing outside. So the count now goes to 3 balls, 1 strike. Had a couple people come up here in the press box and visit us in the 7 o'clock game. Hall of Famer Jerry Taylor was here. Used to be the tournament director of the NBC. Was the director for 13 years. Did a great job for the city of Wichita. Not sure if he's listening or not, but want to thank him for stopping by. Had a great visit with him. And also the legendary pitching coach from the San Diego Wave, John Shin, came up to the press box to visit, just made it in town. Fly ball goes to Cook at first base for out number 1. So now batting for the Hutchinson Monarchs is the left fielder, number 8, Eric Bonhert. John Shin and his wife Kathy making it all the way from California. And going to be here for the next championship week. And penalty ball 1. As Seidel did not throw the pitch. And the clock ran down. So the count to Bonhert now goes to 2-0. Two balls, no strikes, with a runner at first base and 1 out here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning for Hutchinson. There's a ball hit foul into the stands. And a NBC souvenir for somebody. Two balls and 1 strike now to Eric Bonhert, who went down swinging strike in the bottom half of the 1st inning. Made the first out for Hutchinson. 3 balls and 1 strike now. To Bonhert and a swing and a miss. Count goes full now, 3-2. Martinez at first base. And we have 1 out here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Call strike 3 by Austin Seidel, records a strikeout. Going to bring up the center fielder number 12, Nolan Hackle. This is Hackle's 2nd time at bat. He went down with a strikeout in the bottom half of the 1st inning. By the way, that was Austin Seidel's 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Correction, that was his 4th strikeout of the ball game. My bad. Count is 1 ball, no strikes now to Nolan Hackle, a left-handed batter. from Lincoln, Nebraska. There's a ball hit into left field. McLean comes in, but it's going to fall in front of him. And that took a healthy bounce to his right, but he was able to corral it down. So Hackle reaches on a base hit. Martinez goes to second base on the play. And now batting will be the shortstop, number 7, Dylan Nedved. This is Nedved's second time at bat here in the ball game. He grounded out to third base on a 5-3 play to end the inning in the bottom half of the first inning. And there's a base hit that's going to be into the gap between McLean and Williams in left and center field. 1 run scores, and here comes Hackle to home. The ball comes into Del Boss, but not in time. So 2 runs will score. And ending up at second base is Dylan Nedved. Record 2 RBIs as 2 runs score, and now the score is 2-0 in favor of the Hutchinson Monarchs here in the bottom half of the third inning. A nice job there by Nedved. Put that in the gap to score those 2 runs. Now batting will be the second baseman, number 18, Taylor Barber. This is Barber's second time at bat. He batted in the second inning, reached on the base on balls, and he hits that ball up the middle. Back to Williams. Williams coming home, but it gets cut off by the first baseman, Cook. And another run scores as Nedved crosses home plate. So Barber reaches on a base hit up the middle and scores an RBI. Now takes the score to 3-0 in favor of Hutchinson. Coming up will be the first baseman, number 27, Jack Rogers. So 3 runs are across here in the bottom half of the third inning for the Hutchinson Monarchs. First pitch was a ball to Jack Rogers. Rogers batted in the second inning but struck out. For the first out in that inning. So this is his second time to bat here in the ball game. Rogers from Spring, Texas. And I believe I told you he was batting .556 as the ball game started. Also included 1 base on balls and a strikeout. And once again, he did strike out in that second inning, so he's got 2 strikeouts now. And there's a base on balls given up by Austin Seidel. So going to first base will be Rogers, and going to second base, Taylor Barber. And to bring up the catcher, number 20, Skylar Black. Skylar Black reached on an error to the first baseman as that he hit a high fly ball that was started in the foul territory, and it moved a little bit into fair territory and bounced between him and the second baseman, Cook and Paz, and should have been played a little bit better by the first baseman. They gave him an error. First pitch is outside, low for ball 1. So we have runners at first and second with 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third inning, but 3 runs already across for Hutchinson Monarchs as they lead 3-0. Ball low, 2-0 now the count to Skylar Black. And here's Austin Seidel's pitch. Misses high. Count goes 3-0. There is some action now. in the Texas bullpen. We have a left-hander, number 27, and also, well, two left-handers, and also number 1. There's ball forward to Black, so he goes to first base. Moving over to second is Rogers, who also reached on a walk. And moving to third base is Taylor Barber. And here comes coach for the Texas Prospects to talk to Austin Seidel. Austin has already thrown 58 pitches here in the ball game. He's gone 2 2/3 innings so far. Looks like the coach is going to stay with Seidel. 58 pitches so far, 27 strikes and 31 balls. Giving up 3 runs on 4 hits so far, but the bases are full now for the Hutchinson Monarchs. And there's a fly ball into center field. Williams gets under it and makes the catch for out number 3. But not before Hutchinson scores 3 runs. So at the end of 3 innings of play, it is the Monarchs 3 and the Prospects 0. We'll be right back.
Leonard Skinner, last of the Street Survivors, farewell tour.
Saturday, September 29th in Trust Bank Arena.
With special guest, the Marshall Tucker Band, Leonard Skinner, on their final tour ever.
Tickets are on sale now at selectaseat.com, the venue box office, or charged by phone.
Leonard Skinner,
Playing in Trust Bank Arena one last time.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. This matchup between the Hutchinson Monarchs and the Texas Prospects. We are in the top half of the 4th inning. The score 3-0 in favor of Hutchinson. And Robertson ready to get to work. First pitch is outside for ball 1. And up to bat is the center fielder, number 22, Avery Williams. This is Williams' second time at bat. He struck out in the top half of the 1st inning as he made the first out of the ball game. 1-1 the count now. There's a foul ball to the right-hand side. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Avery Williams. Williams from Mexia, Texas. And a strikeout recorded by Robinson as Williams goes down for the 2nd time here in the ball game. That is the 9th strikeout by Robinson. Brings up the left fielder, number 13, Ben McLean. McLean also went down swinging in the 1st inning as he made out number 2. 0-1 the count. Robinson misses outside, so the count goes even. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, and nobody on base here in the top half of the 4th inning. Missing outside is Robinson. And fouled off there by McLean. Again, Robinson is a sophomore out of Sam Houston State. 6'1", 200-pounder. Nice mechanics on this young man. There's a ball hit into left field. Monhert gets under it and makes the catch as he moves to his left for out number 2. It's going to bring up the third baseman, number 3, Brandon Holdren. Holdren also struck out in the first inning. There's a foul ball along the third base side into the stands. And nobody's going to get this one because it bounces out of the stadium unless they're out in the parking lot. Another foul ball by Holdren. 0-2 now the count. To Brandon Holdren, a third baseman for the Texas Prospects. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3 for out number 3 here in the top half of the 4th inning, as Robinson records his 10th strikeout of the ball game. We'll be right back. And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. We are in the bottom half of the 4th inning, and the score of the Hutchinson Monarchs 3 and the Texas Prospects 0. Leading off for the Hutchinson will be the third baseman, number 6, Jordan Martinez. Martinez was first batter in the last inning. He reached on a base hit, and he scored a run. As Dylan Nedved hit a double. And scored Martinez and Hackle. 2 balls and 1 strike now to Jordan Martinez from Syntex, Texas. There's a ball hit into right center field. Backing up is Williams. Gets under it and makes the catch for out number 1. Williams moved to his left, and then all of a sudden the ball was over his head, so he backed up, backpedaled, and got under it to make the catch. That brings up the right fielder, number 1, Connor Craig. Craig flied off to first base in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. Recorded the first out for Hutchinson. 1 ball, 1 strike now to Connor Craig. So all the runs were scored in the last inning by Hutchinson here in the ball game. Check swing there by Connor Craig. Missed outside, so 2-1 now the count by Austin Seidel. Fouled off by Craig. Count evens up now at 2 balls and 2 strikes. It is now 11-16 here in Wichita, Kansas, with 74 degrees. A nice cool evening for baseball. Great crowd still here to enjoy the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Full count now, 3-2. And here's the pitch by Saito on the ball. Hit into center field. Backing up as Williams. Going to be over his head. So it's going to be extra bases for Connor Craig as he hits second base and rounds it, but heads back now to second base as the ball gets from Williams to McGriff, the shortstop. So Connor Craig in with a stand-up double as he records his first hit of the game. And that's going to bring up the Monarchs left fielder, number 8, Eric Bonhart. And he's got a runner at second base that he's going to try to get across. Bonhart has struck out twice here in the ballgame. But he did come in batting 125. Has only 1 hit out of 8 in the first 2 games played. Count goes to 1-1, I believe. The official scorer has it at 1-1. The scoreboard operator is showing 0-2. So there's the ball hit into left field between the third baseman Holdren, and the ball gets by McLean. So extra base, or a error, and Bonhart ends up at third base on that base hit, and an error by the left fielder as he let that ball get by him. But 1 run scores for the Hutchinson Monarchs, and here comes manager for Texas, and that's going to be it for Austin Saito. Saito pitched 3 1/3 innings.
Your attention now, pitching for Texas, number 27, Jesse Lawrence.
Gave up 4 runs on 6 hits. I believe it's number 27. Yes, it is. So coming in for Texas will be Jesse Lawrence, a left-handed pitcher for the Texas Prospects. Jesse Lawrence, his hometown is Houston, Texas. He's a 6'1", 190-pounder from a freshman from Coastal Bend. So he comes in the bottom half of the 4th inning as Hutchinson has put 1 run across, and we have a runner at third base on that base hit and error by the left fielder McLean, correction. Brings up the center fielder, number 12, Nolan Hackle, will be coming up to bat now for Hutchinson. Once again, runner at third base with 1 out. And the score now, the Hutchinson Monarchs 4 and Topeka and the Texas Prospects 0. There's a base hit by the third baseman Holgren, and McGriff at shortstop goes into left field, and Hackle is in with his second hit of the game and an RBI. Going to bring up the shortstop, number 7, Dylan Nedved, right-handed batter for the Hutchinson Monarchs. First pitch is a ball to Nedved. Once again, another run scored on that base hit by Hackle. That was Bonhart, who was at third base. And we have a stolen base now by Hackle. Reaches second. The score, the Hutchinson Monarchs 5 now. And the Texas Prospects 0. Runner at second base with 1 out. And there's a foul ball to the right side. Cook attempting to get to that, but it goes foul. One ball, one strike now to Dylan Nedved. And there's a pitch ball hit to the second baseman. A pause. Gets under it, makes the catch for out number 2. Going to bring up the second baseman, number 18, Taylor Barber. This is Barber's third time at bat. He reached on a base on balls in the second inning and a base hit in the third inning, and also had an RBI. And here is Lawrence's pitch. Oh, and 1 the count now. To Taylor Barber. We've got a runner at second base with 2 outs now. As Nedved flew out to the second baseman, pause. There's Lawrence pitch missing outside. Count showing 2 balls, 1 strike. To Taylor Barber. Here's Lawrence pitch. Swinging, strike 2 to Barber. And the count evens up at 2 balls, 2 strikes with 2 outs and a runner at second base. Here in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Hutchinson leading 5-0 over the Texas Prospects, and there's a no pitch. The horn sounded as the pitcher was making his motion. No penalty. And there's a pitch missing inside. So the count goes full now, 3-2 to Taylor Barber. And the ball hit to the shortstop, McGriff. McGriff tosses low to Cook, but is able to scoop it up for out number 3. But not before Hutchinson scores 2 runs. So at the end of 4 innings to play, it is Hutchinson 5 and Texas 0. We'll be right back.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. The Hutchinson Monarchs are up 5-0 over the Texas Prospects as we start the top half of the fifth inning. And batting for the Prospects will be the designated hitter, number 25, Josh Gustafson. Correction. Count goes to 1-1 now. And there's a hard hit ball along the left-hand side. Bonhurt goes to his right, but it falls in, and in with a double is Gustafson, who records his first hit of the game. So he starts off the top half of the fifth inning with a double, brings up the right fielder, number 20, Taiwan Mackey Jr. Gustafson is batting .500 in this ball game. He's 1 for 2 now. First pitch was a strike to Mackey. Second one misses outside by Robinson. Robinson's up to 70 pitches now as we're in the top half of the fifth inning. There's a foul ball right over our heads and out of the stadium. 1-2 now to Mackey. As all the scoring so far has been by the Hutchinson Monarchs, as they scored 3 runs in the third inning and 2 runs in the bottom half of the fourth inning. There's a ball hit to the second baseman. Barber backs up, goes to Rogers for out number 1 on that play. Gustafson moves over to third base. And that's going to bring up the first baseman, number 12, Ty Cook. This is Cook's second time at bat. He's a left-handed batter. Struck out the first time. In the second inning, there's a fly ball along the third base side. Nice, great catch there by Martinez. No, it's going to be, umpire says it fell out of his glove. And it's probably a good thing because Gustafson was tagging up and coming into home. There's no way Martinez was going to be able to make a play. He was down on his knees with his back towards home plate. And the ball came out, so it's just a foul ball for Ty Cook. 0-1 the count now to Cook. Once again, a runner at third base with 1 out. And here's a chance for Texas. Ball hit the left side to shortstop. Nedved comes into home as Gustafson tries to score. And waiting with the ball was Black. He tags him out at home plate, so Cook reaches on a fielder's choice. And it's 6-2 officially for they put out for out number 2. It's going to bring up the catcher, number 29, Chris Delbosque. And a swing and a miss there by Delbosque. Delbosque struck out his first time in the second inning as he started off the inning with a strikeout. Robinson missing high. Count goes to 1-1 strike now with Cook, who reached on a fielder's choice at first base. And 2 outs here in the top half of the 5th inning. Fly ball right back up the net here. Right at my window, but didn't get here. One and 2 the count to Del Bosque. And there goes the runner. Cook going to second base. The throw by Black is not in time, so we have a stolen base by Ty Cook. As Cook gets in second base safely. And it was a ball 2 to Chris Del Bosque. So the count's 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, runner at second base. And the score 5-0 in favor of the Hutchinson Monarchs over the Texas Prospects. And calls strike 3 as he hit the outside corner. And Robertson records his 11th strikeout of the ball game. That's the end of 4.5. It is Hutchinson 5 and Texas 0. We'll be right back.
Never Ending Summer, featuring 311 and The Offspring. September 9th in Trust Bank Arena. With special guest, Gym Class Heroes. Tickets on sale now at selectaseat.com or by phone at 855-755-SEAT. 311 and The Offspring. In concert.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series. We're in the bottom half of the 5th inning as the Hutchinson Monarchs are ahead 5-0. And now batting the first baseman, number 27, Jack Rogers. Rogers in this ball game is 0 for 1 with 1 base on balls.
Number 23, Ryan Steckline.
Had a strikeout in the 2nd inning. And he is batting .444 now in the tournament. And fouled off there by Rogers. Evens up the count to 1 ball and 1 strike now. Jesse Lawrence, the pitcher, recorded 2/3 of an inning. And here's a ball hit to the shortstop. McGriff goes to first for out number 1. 6-3 put out. It's going to be the bringing up catcher, number 20, Skylar Black. Skylar Black's batting average is .125 here in the tournament as he is 0 for 1. Call strike 1, 0-1 the count. One ball, 1 strike now to Skylar Black. Black reached on a base on balls here in the ball game. There's a ball hit with a base hit there by Black. Right between the third baseman Holdren and McGriff. So Black records his first hit of the game. It's going to bring up the right fielder, correction, the designated hitter, number 19, Riley Metzger. Metzger is 0 for 2 here in the ball game. He's batting .273. 2-0 now the count to Metzger. He's a left-handed batter. Out of Stillwater, Oklahoma. 3-0 now the count. From Jesse Lawrence, the pitcher for Texas, who's now gone one full inning. And there's ball 4 to Metzger. Reaches on a walk. So moving over to second base will be Skylar Black, who had a base hit here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Jordan Martinez. Martinez is batting at .250 as he is 1 for 2 here in the ball game with 1 run scored. And there's a foul ball. 0-2 now the count to Martinez as we have runners at first and second with 1 out here in the bottom half of the fifth for Hutchinson. Orange pitch missing. One ball, 2 strikes now to Martinez, the third baseman for Hutchinson. There's a ball hit into center field. Williams backing up, tagging up here at second base, but not going, is Black. Williams makes the catch for out number 2. So Black stays at second base and Metzger at first. Brings up the right fielder, number 1, Connor Craig. Craig is 1 for 2 here in the ball game with 1 run scored. There's a ball hit to the second baseman. Paz goes to Cook at first for out number 3. So at the end of 5 innings of play, the score, the Hutchinson Monarchs 5 and the Texas Prospect 0. We'll be right back.
Make the most of every single moment. After the game, see what's happening at visitwichita.com.
And we welcome you back here to Lawrence Dumont Stadium for the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series as we get ready to start the top half of the sixth inning for Texas. Leading off will be the shortstop, number 21, Hayden McGriff. And Robertson starting this sixth inning of work. We do have somebody throwing in the bullpen for Hutchinson. I believe it's number 9. Skylar Cirkley. And the count is 2 balls, 1 strike now to McGriff. Messing low. 3-1 the count now. As Robinson is up to 83 pitches. McGriff fouls that off. So the count goes 2-2 now. Correction, full count, 3-2 now. That's what the official score is showing. And ball 4 there to McGriff as he takes his base. And that's going to bring up the second baseman, number 7, Walker Paz.
Second baseman number 7, Walker Paz.
Paz is batting .250 for the tournament. Had a base on balls and a strikeout, so he's 0 for 1 so far here in this ball game. Fouled off. The count goes 0-2 now. As we're in the top half of the sixth inning. Runner at first base with no outs. And Texas down 5-0 to the Hutchinson Monarchs. Robertson's pitch misses just outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Walker Paz, second baseman for Texas, and calls strike 3 for out number 1. And Robertson records his 12th strikeout of the ball game. That brings up the center fielder, number 22, Avery Williams. Williams is batting .273 as he's 0 for 2 here in the ball game. Has 2 strikeouts. 0-1 the count now to Williams, the center fielder for the Texas prospect. There's a throw down by Black to well, I guess we have a new first baseman. I guess didn't see that. I have to check that out. Our point streak is showing a new first baseman. And the ball was hit to the third baseman. Martinez goes to Barber at second base for the force out. And Williams will reach on a fielder's choice. So it's 5-4 on official. Brings up the left fielder, number 13, Ben McLean. Call strike 1. Number 23 now is playing first base for Hutchinson. That one slipped right by me. Ryan Stockline is now the first baseman for Hutch. And Williams taking off to second base, so we have a stolen base by Avery Williams. As the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike. Three and one now the count. Trying to get that first baseman in on my score sheet. And there goes Avery Williams again, trying to steal third base, and the ball is going to get by Martinez. But Avery Williams apparently hurt his wrist and just sat on the base as the ball went out into left field, and Bonhurt hustled after the ball and tossed it in to Martinez. And we have a trainer coming out to take a look at Avery Williams. Let's see, either bend a fingernail or something, because it looks like he's chewing on that nail. He's okay though, but he's at second base. And now batting is third baseman number 3, Brandon Holdren. I was so busy looking at that play that I forgot to tell you that McLean reached on a walk. And there goes McLean to second base, but the throw back to the third baseman Martinez from Black, and Avery Williams is safe at third base. So now at second base is McLean. Third base is Williams. And we have 2 down here in the top half of the 6th inning. Once again, Hutchinson leading 5-0 over the Texas Prospects. And there's call strike 1. 2 balls, 1 strike now to Brandon Holdren. Holdren is 0 for 2. Has 2 strikeouts, and there's a deep fly ball into right field. Right fielder Connor Craig gets under it, makes the catch for out number 3. So Texas gets 2 guys on base, but leaves them stranded. So at the end of 5.5, it is Hutchinson Monarchs 5 and the Texas Prospects 0. We'll be right back.
Pain, back pain, all kinds of sprains. If your knee replacement aches when it starts to rain, at Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. Concussions, arthritis, carpal tunnel, tooth, fibromyalgia, Parkinson's, we've got the treatment for you. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. One-on-one sessions with a personal touch. Ask our thousands of patients why they love us so much. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that. At Advanced Physical Therapy, we treat that.
All right, we welcome you back to Lawrence Dumont Stadium. We have a new pitcher for Texas. He is number 9. And we're going to have to see who the official scores, what name they give us, because don't have a number 9 on our roster. But batting for Hutchinson will be the left fielder number 8, Eric Bonhart. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning as Hutchinson leads 5-0 over the Texas Prospects.
Your attention now, pitching for Texas.
Might be number 8. He's got number 9 on, but I'm not exactly sure who this guy is. We'll try to figure that out. And the count goes 2 balls and 1 strike to Eric Bonhart. Umpire trying to get the scorekeeper to get the
Wichita Federal Credit Union base on balls.
Well, I guess that was 3-1. All right, Bonhart will be at first base no matter what. That's going to bring up the center fielder number 12, Nolan Hackle. Trying to look up names and have my head down and miss the pitch there somewhere. Once again, we don't know who number 9 is yet, but we'll try to find out once we get that done. And Hackle is up there batting. Hackle so far is batting .455. He is 2 for 3 here in the ball game with 1 run scored, 1 RBI, and 1 strikeout so far in the ball game. Count is 1 ball and 1 strike now to Nolan Hackle. And that ball gets away from the catcher, Dale Boss. And going to second base is Eric Bonhart. Looks like they put down Acosta on the official score, so that is number 4, Dalton Acosta, correction, but he's wearing number 9 tonight. So Dalton Acosta is now pitching for the Texas Prospect. And the base runner went to third base on as the ball got away from the catcher. It's ball 4 now to Hackle. And now batting will be the shortstop number 7, Dylan Nedved. There's a ball hit up the middle, grabbed by McGriff. Only has 1 play, and that's to first base. So a run will score from third base. Hackle ends up at second, and it's a 6-3 put out for out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Now batting will be the second baseman number 18, Taylor Barber, and now the score: Hutchinson 6. And Texas Prospect 0. So 1 run across here in the bottom half of the 6th inning for Hutchinson. 2-0 now the count to Dylan Nedved. Correction. We have a pinch hitter, number 2. pinch hitter is Kevin Cronin. Kevin Cronin is pinch hitting now for Hutchinson. And he reaches on base on balls. Now batting the first baseman, number 23, Ryan Steckline for Hutchinson, as we have runners at first and second with one out. And it looks like we're going to have another pitching change. This time it's going to be a left-handed pitcher coming in for the Texas prospect. And it's going to be number 1 for Texas. And it's going to be number 1, Anthony Munoz. All right, let's see what we can find out about Anthony. A left-handed pitcher from Cypress, Texas. 5'7", 160-pounder. Sophomore from North Lake. And Dalton. Let's give you a little information about him. Wasn't in there very long, but he was from Navasota, Texas, and he was 5'11", 170-pounder. A junior from Arkansas Pine Bluff. I'm sure his family would like to hear about him. But Dalton has been replaced by Anthony Munoz now. Up to bat, or correction, up pitching now for the Texas Prospects. As we're reaching midnight here in Wichita, Kansas, along the banks of the Arkansas River, 73 degrees here in Wichita. And Ryan Steckline will be the batter for the Hutchinson Monarchs, first baseman. And they're playing the dueling banjos on the PA system. So we have runners at first and second with one out here in the bottom half of the sixth inning. 6-0 in favor of Hutchinson as Munoz gets ready to go to work. First pitch is low for ball 1. And that fouled off by Steckline. So the count goes to 1 ball, 1 strike now. We do have somebody up for both teams. For Texas is number 8. And looks like number 9 warming up for the Hutchinson Monarchs. So that'd be Zirkle. And there both runners are taken off, and it's going to be safe at third base as the throw was to Holdren from Del Bosque. So both a double steal by the Hutchinson Monarchs puts runners at second and third. Hackle at third base. And Cronin at second base. There's a ball hit to the right-hand side. That's going to be a base hit. And 2 runs will score, correction, 1 run will score as Hackle comes in home, and Cronin ends up at third base. Steckline records his first hit of the game and an RBI. And now pinch hitting will be number 4, Cooper Minnick for Hutchinson.
Your attention, pitch hitting for Hutchinson, number 4, Cooper Minnick.
He is a catcher, so he'll be taking Skylar Black's spot. And it is fouled off. So we have runners at first and third base with 1 out. And the score now, the Hutchinson Monarchs 7. And Texas Prospect 0. There's another foul ball by Minnick. We do have run rule here in the NBC World Series. As Minnick gets back in there. And he's ready for the pitch. Ball hit foul into the stands. And the fans scramble to get that foul ball. Another souvenir of the NBC World Series. Four fans went after that. The smallest one got that ball, so that's great to see if you're a fan of kids. Missing outside. Count goes 1 ball, 2 strikes now to pinch hitter Cooper Minnick. As Munoz throws that low, and the runner's going to go to second base, and a toss down to second base from Dilboss. Not in time. And now standing at second base is Steckline. So we have runners at second and third with 1 out. Here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And the count is 2 balls, 2 strikes now to Cooper Minnick. As Minnick's got runners in scoring position. Munoz misses low. The count goes 3-2 now. Full count to Cooper Minnick. Minnick is batting .500. And it's ball 4 to Minnick. So he hustles down to first base, and designated hitter number 19, Riley Metzger, now up the bat. Metzger batting .273, is 0 for 2 today. Has 1 base on balls. As he grounded out to shortstop in the 2nd inning and flew out to center field in the 3rd. There's the ball hit to the first baseman, and the run's going to score as he goes unassisted at first base. And now takes the score to 8-0 in favor of Hutchinson. Runners advance. Steckline will be at third base, Minnick at second. And now batting the third baseman. Correction, now we have a pinch hitter, number 32.
Hutchinson, number 32, Tanner Arndt.
Pinch hitting will be number 32, Tanner Arst. And we're also going to have a pitching change by Texas. I believe that was number 9, or Christian 8 or 9 that was warming up. It is number 8. Now coming in for the Texas Prospects.
Now pitching for Texas, number 8,
Tristan
Tristan McGraw.
McCraw is now pitching for Texas. Still a lot of fans here in Wichita at the ballpark at Lawrence Dumont Stadium. .73 degrees, 12:08 is the time in Kansas. Once again, the pinch hitter, number 32, Tanner Arst, comes up to bat with runners at second and third base. And 2 outs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. And Tristan McCraw, now the pitcher for Texas. And here's McCraw's pitch, missing outside. 1-0 the count. Again, McCraw, a freshman out of Wichita State University, and that ball is going to get away, go back to the screen, and scoring from third base is Ryan Steckline, and as the catcher, Del Boss throws the ball to McCraw, it gets away, so another run scores. That's Cooper Minnick. So now takes the score 10-0. That is the ball game. It is a 10-run roll, and so the Hutchinson Monarchs win this ball game 10-0 as they now end up their pool play 2-1, and Texas Prospects end up 1-2. So tomorrow evening it's going to be 7 o'clock. Mulvane, Kansas Patriots versus the San Antonio, Texas Angels. And then the Colorado Cyclones versus the Kansas Cannons at 9:30. So we thank you very much for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed the broadcast. Once again, this is Frank Martinez. And honey, I'm on my way home. Tell Duke and Daisy, our 2 St. Bernards, not to do too much barking when I walk in. Good night from Lawrence Dumont Stadium and the 84th National Baseball Congress World Series, powered by Westar Energy. Good evening.